All right, here we go. So, we're gonna go on. Now we're putting it all of our knowledge together. Okay. And we're gonna see what happens. So we're gonna start off easy with one that's already factored. You're probably wondering, why did we spend 2 weeks learning how to factor for this? Okay. This is why we spent 2 weeks learning how to factor. So this is the only one in our notes that is already factored for us. The rest we're gonna have to factor. Okay. All right. These are the steps that we're going to follow. Step 1 is we're going to factor the polynomial. Step 2 is we're going to find the x-intercepts. Remember, your x-intercepts are AKA your roots. They're the same thing. That's why you're taking the factors and setting them equal to 0. And then we're going to find our y-intercept. Your y-intercept is where do you cross the y-axis at? So when x equals 0, what do you get, right? That's what f of 0 is saying. Number 4, we're going to sketch the graph using the multiplicity. And I forgot in behavior. So multiplicity, comma, and in behavior. I need you to add that in there, okay? Behavior. Okay, so those are going to be the 4 steps that we follow. See how that period became a comma? Fixed, okay? All right, so let's follow our steps, okay? So step 1 is to make sure that you're factored. Am I factored? Yes, I am fully factored, okay? Step 2 is to take each factor and set it equal to 0. So I have x equals 0. I have x minus 1 equals 0. And I have x plus 4 equals 0. All right, so now I got to find my roots. So this one's done, right? What's the root here? X equals 1. What's the root here? X equals negative 4. All right, how do we feel about finding our roots? Oh, no, I'm so sorry. What plus 4 makes 0? Yeah, good job.
So we're just doing whatever makes it equal 0.
Yes, that's why it says x minus 1 equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. Okay.
So just flip those.
Or add and subtract. Yep. Just basic arithmetic. You got it.
Are you sure?
Sometimes. Here we go. 3. Find the y-intercept. Well, because x equals 0, we already know that our y-intercept has to be at 0, right? But what this is saying, f of 0 means that everywhere there's an x, it becomes a 0. That's what f of 0 is telling you. Everywhere that you have an x, it becomes a 0. Okay? Okay, which makes sense. Our y-intercept should be at 0. Okay? Step 4 is to talk about your multiplicity. So for each factor, you're looking at its multiplicity. Well, this one is a single because it was just x. This is also just a single because it was just x minus 1. And this is also just a single. So that tells me that I'm just going to be going through each one of them. Okay? The next is you're looking at your in behavior. Okay? You can identify in behavior from factored form without having to go through the whole thing. Okay? All you're doing is, if I multiply each leading coefficient of each factor, what do I get? Well, we already know our degree because how many factors do we have? So 3 factors equals 3/3 degree, right? Now we just need to know our leading coefficient. And our leading coefficient, is it positive or negative? It's positive. I have a positive x, and a positive x. So this is going to be positive. So our in behavior, let's go back and think about Dancing Bob. So with Dancing Bob here, my bad. With Dancing Bob, I am a odd positive. So what are my hand movements? There we go. My left down and my right up. He's doing this, right? Okay. So I'm going to start negative, but I have to end positive. Does that make sense? Start negative, end positive. So Bob is like this. Boom. Boom. Okay. Getting jiggy with it. All right. All right, now we're going to graph. So I'm going to put in my -4, my 0, and my 1. And I just got to get jiggy with it. Bob says I start in the negative. I'm going to cross -4, cross 0, and I'm going to cross at 1, and I end positively.
So is this double root?
It's all single roots.
Okay.
Why are they all single roots? Because do any of them have a number on their factors?
No.
No.
Even though it kind of.
I go through each one smoothly.
Oh, so it's not based off the points, it's just based off how it hits the dot?
It's based off of the factors. So each one here has a 1, 1, 1, right? Casper the Friendly 1. Does this have a 2? No. Does this have a 2? No. So therefore, it's not a double or a triple. They're all single. And they just go normal. Beep, beep.
How do we know how far up the heart go?
Oh, right now, we're not worried about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, we're not worried about the max and min. Okay. All right. We're going to do 14 now. 14 corresponds to number 11 on your homework. Got it? What does 14 correspond to?
Number 11.
Number 11 on your homework. Okay. So on your 10 through 15, I gave you the graph. You just have to match, right? So we got to do the math, but then the rest, you have to actually do what we're doing here. Okay. All right. So, again, this corresponds to number 11. Okay. So we're going to go through the 4 steps. So step 1 is to factor. Is this factored? No. So I need to factor it first, right? Where should I start? Perfect. We're going to look at our greatest common factor. And what is our greatest common factor? X. So I'm going to factor out X. And I'm going to be left with X squared minus 4X plus 4. Okay. This is a simple factor, a simple trinomial, because X squared is 1. So all you're asking yourself is what? Multiplies to give me 4, but adds to give me -4. So what 2 numbers multiply to give me 4, but a -2 and a -2. So I have X minus 2 and X minus 2. So this becomes X times X minus 2 squared. Okay, that was all of our factoring unit, right? All right, step 2. What is step 2? Find the x-intercept. And how do we find our x-intercept?
0.
We set each factor equal to 0. So we have x equals 0, and we're going to have x minus 2 equals 0. So we have x equals 0, and we have, say it again, x equals positive 2.
Where are you getting the numbers from?
Which ones?
Like all of them.
From the paper?
Yeah, like I just pulled 0 out, you know?
X-intercept.
So 0 is just like a common sense thing?
0 is, yeah, because if you're,
Kind of like you just got to remember that, like you always have 0.
yes, because your x-intercept is when y equals 0. Yes. So these are my 2 factors, right?
Does that the power of 2, like, do we just kind of forget about that?
Yes, that's step 4. Yeah. All right. Then step 3. Step 3 is our y-intercept. So to find your y-intercept, that means you're taking the function and plugging in 0 for everything. Well, what's going to happen when I plug 0 in?
So all the x's become 0.
And therefore, it's just going to equal, because it becomes 0 minus 0 plus 0, which makes sense because as long as my x-intercept is at 0, what does that mean my y-intercept is?
0.
At 0. Okay, now 4. 4, we're going to identify our multiplicity and describe our end behavior. Okay, so looking at each factor. So x is a single multiplicity, but x equals 2 is a what? A double. Why is it a double? It has that power of 2, right? So I'm going to cross, but I'm going to do what at 2? I'm going to kiss. It's going to be a kiss at 2, right?
Okay, wait, why?
Because a double multiplicity, so double root.
So we forget about the exponent when we're back on step 2 and bring it back in step 4?
Yes.
When's the quiz on this?
Our quiz? Technically, it was be Thursday, but probably after break. Yeah. A lot of people are out Thursday. I don't feel like trying to figure out that. So
How is everyone gonna get out on Thursday?
I don't know. All right, in behavior. So in behavior, luckily we have our original. So our in behavior here is first we got to determine our leading coefficient. Is our leading coefficient positive or negative? Positive. So that means our right hand is doing what? Up. And our degree is what? Odd. So our left hand is going down. So we're doing this. Pew, pew. Staying alive, okay?
What part is odd? Like that's a 2, right?
My degree is odd.
Oh, we're looking at the degree.
Wait, where's the degree?
The degree is your highest power. Okay? All right, so let's put everything in. So we have 0. We're at 2. And we need to start negative and end positive. So we're going to start negative. Oh, that did not even touch it, Joe. Let's try that again. Boom. At 2, I have a double, so I don't cross. I kiss and go.
So I don't actually ever touch the x-axis?
I touch it.
Oh.
I don't cross it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I touch it. Don't cross. A single crosses.
So it like never goes to like the negative?
Exactly. I do not change the sign of my number. There you go. It's a little peck. Go. Okay.
And if it crosses,
We're gonna leave her alone. All right. Okay.
But wait, so is this where we bring in this little thing?
Yeah.
No, it's right there.
It's right there. See it?
Whoa.
I mean, I'm not gonna draw Bob every time. I'm just drawing his arm.
Left side's going down and the right side.
Yes.
So basically rip off his arms.
The same way we did it before. You just gotta pay attention to your leading coefficient and my degree is odd. So the leading coefficient says what's happening to my right. The degree says what's happening to my left, right? Odd is opposite, even is the same. Odd is opposite, even is the same. All right, let's try another one. Okay, here we go. Step 1, is this fully factored?
No.
No. Okay, first thing you should always check for when factoring is the GCF, the greatest common factor. What is my greatest common factor? Negative x cubed. So I'm going to factor out negative x cubed. 4 minus 3 is 1x. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. And I'm just going to be left with 3.
That's all we have to do, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Step 1 is to factor. Okay?
Like when factoring, do we always find the greatest common first?
Yes. Okay, step 2 is to take each factor and set it equal to 0. So we have x cubed equals 0, and we have x plus 3 equals 0.
We don't want negative.
Will it make a difference?
Yeah, wouldn't it make a difference?
Still 0, guys.
Oh, that's crazy.
Still 0. Like we said, I'm gonna give you $0 tomorrow. I got you.
Well, I think you negative $0.
Oh, you're gonna give me less?
Yeah, it's equals 0.
This right here.
How does that change the x?
A negative divided by negative is a positive. X cubed divided by x cubed does what? Cancels out, and what am I left with? 3.
Okay, so how did x plus 3 equal 0?
X plus 3 doesn't equal 0. It equals negative 3.
No, but wouldn't it just be a 3? Why would it x?
Yeah, how do you
plus
get
3?
x equals 0?
We just put the 0 there.
It always equals 0.
It's always 0. It's your x guys, an x-intercept means you have x comma 0, right?
Oh,
That's where an x-intercept is at x comma 0. So I know that my y equals 0. So therefore, I'm setting each one of my x's to figure out what x makes it equal to 0.
But on number 1, I thought it wouldn't it just be 3? Why did it get
I put an x plus 3
no,
because x to the 4th divided by x cubed, I still have an x left.
yeah.
So
Okay.
like, you really only have to solve like one element, the other one's automatically ends. You know,
If the fact not automatically 0, because what if I didn't have it could have been x minus 4. Yeah, it's whatever the factors are. Yeah. All right, so step 3, obviously our f of 0 is going to be 0. Why? Because if my x-intercept is at 0, then my y-intercept is at 0. Okay? Because x values cannot do what? Repeat.
Well, what do you do with that? Why is negative like not on number 3?
Because it's an x-intercept.
It's just, it would finding the
This
word.
is saying I'm graphing at 0, 0. This is saying I'm graphing at negative 3, 0.
Wait, so is the f of 0, is that y or is that
This is saying I'm graphing at 0, 0. F of 0 means this is your x, this is your y. Okay, step 4 is to multiplicity. So at x equals 0, I have a triple multiplicity. Why? Because of that 3. At x equals negative 3, I have a single multiplicity because Casper the Friendly One just chilling up there, right? Okay, so multiplicity is done. Next is your end behavior. My leading coefficient, is it positive or negative?
Negative.
It was negative. So I have to end negatively, right? And then my degree, is it odd or even? My degree is even. So they're going to both be going down. So when I graph, I start negative and I have to end negatively. Okay. All right. So here we go. We have to cross 0 and we have to go through negative 3. And it has to be the weird drive-by. Only at.
Oh,
Bam. There you go. It happened today, right now in class.
This is insane.
take a photo to your math teacher.
So that's pretty good. Y'all are just creepers. Okay. It's a water gun drive-by, by the way, if you're wondering. Yes. Yes. It's just a water gun. A little TP, maybe. All right. And did I start negatively and end negatively?
Yes.
Yes. I followed all that was set in place. Okay. So this is what you're doing on your, we just have more practice, but it's all the same. Just got to be able to factor and follow the rules, right? So let's take a gander at your assignment.
Wait, do we got another entry? Wait, so which homework questions are you going to do?
11 through the last graph thing. I want to say 11 through 18, probably, but I'm probably wrong.
Isn't it just like 10 to 15?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're good. So 10 through 15, again, we already did what? 11, right?
I did that last night. I think that
Okay.
was just the whole thing. So.
Yeah.
I kind of did that whole thing last night.
My papers are out of order. So tomorrow, since I see you guys, we'll be doing the stuff that you need to be able to do 16, 17, 18 on your homework, okay? Got it?
so, if you have to graph, they're graph.
I already graphed them for you. You have to just match it.
So what
You're doing everything except graphing.
we're doing a step.
You're doing the steps. You just don't have to graph. The graph.
Yeah.
You put the letter that corresponds to the graph.
Good job, bro. Good luck on your test.